Hey guys, this is me, Tom Molyneux, recording here from my flat. We got a few of the messy old clothes back there, but it's going to be just like a very short video that's hopefully going to help you quit porn addiction, or at least get like the first step towards permanent freedom. And this is so important because I've been in this trap, I've been having these ups and downs trying to quit porn for about 10 years. Nothing really worked for me. I just kept on relapsing and it was so frustrating. And so I ended up getting help from a woman called Mary Pornis, who you'll probably see on the YouTube more nowadays. And she helped me find permanent freedom. And it's really exciting. So the first thing that I just have to share, and I just want to get this message across to people so much, is that suffering is not caused in our reality, but in our perception. So it's how we perceive the world around us and how we think that creates our world. Now, if we look at porn and quitting porn, there's a lot of suffering going on. That suffering isn't in reality, it's in our perception. And so how does that suffering actually take place? You could go down the neuroscientific route and talk about the reward circuitry. And yeah, there's merit to that, absolutely. But I want to just put this idea in your head, which you probably haven't come across before. And it's this idea that you can look at porn. So your perception up until now has been that you can't look at porn. And so you felt deprived. You felt like you couldn't have the thing that you wanted. And this has been causing you a lot of suffering, because if you can't have the thing that you want and it's being withheld from you and it's like that, it's available, but you can't have it, that doesn't feel nice. That's not going to feel nice for anybody. And so this idea that actually that thing is there and you can have it, it changes everything. It will change your life if you really deeply understand this idea, this concept that actually you're not deprived of anything. And it is just a choice. And sometimes you are going to have to face discomfort. Sometimes it's going to feel pretty horrible going through the urges and wanting that thing and knowing that if you look at that thing, then there's going to be consequences. But even in those moments, once you know, like, you know what, like, I could just go and do that actually. I could just go and look at that content once again. It is very freeing. And this is how you gain permanent freedom. If every time you have a relapse, you say to yourself, right, that's it, I'm never ever looking at that stuff again. I can't look at that stuff ever again. You're denying the reality of choice. You're denying the reality of your own freedom. So I wouldn't ever have a relapse again, but that's only because that's a choice. I don't want to have a relapse again, but part of me does, and that's also okay. Part of me wants to look at porn, but the consequences are so severe that it's not very appealing. And so just getting this into your mind, it changes the whole paradigm in which we live, in the way in which we try and quit, because so many people are trying to quit by getting rid of their choice. What I mean by that is they're putting like blockers in place, or they're deleting social media, or they're staying really busy and like working out and just like trying to stay on purpose all the time, that they never actually have time to sit and feel the urges and just go, okay, yeah, I do want to look at porn for a moment here, but I'm not going to. And it's in those moments that you feel the urge, you acknowledge it, and you make your choice and you say no. That's when the brain actually rewires properly. So last year I did quite a lot of streaks. I've been on YouTube now maybe 2 years. In that time I've probably done 3 or 4 streaks over 90 days. But I never truly deeply rewired my brain because I was just staying busy. I was so focused on doing what I wanted to do in life and building good habits and hitting the gym, meditating a lot, working hard and building a really good career for myself and building a lot of friendships and relationships and having like this really great life in many ways. But I wasn't actually dealing with the neural pathways in my brain, and so I'd still have these occasional relapses. After months and months without having a relapse, I'd still go back to it, and I'd just be swept away by shame and regret and frustration and self-hatred. And these ups and downs just continued and continued. And it's only now, since meeting Mary, that life has really changed and I'm finally free. And I never ever worry about relapsing. I don't have any conditions in my life. If I want to lay down in bed and go on my phone for a bit, then I can lay in bed and go on my phone. I'm not saying to do that, but the point is I'm free. I can do whatever because I have this choice. And that's where freedom is found. Someone in prison is said to be less free than somebody not in prison. And the difference is that they don't have the choice to go and explore the world and do whatever they want. The same is true with addiction. If you're saying to yourself every day, I can't look at porn, then you're not free. You're in a prison in your own mind. And that's not a nice place to be, and that's only going to lead to more and more relapsing. Because if it was true that you couldn't ever look at porn, well, you wouldn't look at porn. But you're in this prison in your mind, but still looking at porn anyway. So that's the proof, that's the evidence that you can look at porn. Because if you couldn't, you wouldn't. But you can, and that's why you are. So have this choice, have this freedom, and it changes everything. I want this for everybody watching this video. So yeah, don't listen to my old videos from like last year or the year before, because until I met Mary, I didn't fully understand how to quit this addiction. And I don't think 99.9% of people giving out advice do either, because I consumed all that advice and it didn't lead to permanent freedom for me. Because no one really talks about deprivation thinking. No one talks about junkie thinking. And very few people have a very specific script that they read out whenever they have an urge, which taps into the prefrontal cortex and helps them make a rational choice. If you do want that script and you do want help, then there's a link in the description and you can get the free training. So there's going to be a video with me and Mary talking about the Beyond Compulsion method more. I hope that video helps you. I hope this video helps you. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and do find permanent freedom from this horrible porn addiction.